Hello everyone, thank you for joining us wherever you are. I'm Gulo from Jadi PNS, will be your host. This talk show is a collaboration between Jadi PNS and UNESCO Green Citizens Initiative. Now we are with Cordula Weimann, founder of Omas for Future, and Dr. Hari Lehmann, co-founder of Omas for Future. Hello Cordula and Dr. Hari, how are you?
Hello, I'm fine,
Hello.
thanks.
Thank you so much, Cordula and Dr. Harry, for sharing your inspiring story with us. And Cordula, what inspired you to start Omas for Future in Germany?
So I had a good contact to Harry Lehmann since a longer time, and one time we decided to make an association living in harmony with our nature. And content was to inform people to self-effectiveness. But then 3 months later, I had a talk with a journalist in my garden, and she told me that 56% of the voters in Germany are older than 50 years. So it was the first moment I learned that the grandparents, the old people, decide the future of the children and the grandchildren. And the children and the kids and my kids and my grandkids have no chance to plan their future and to decide about. And that was a moment I decided, okay, my daughter says in this moment, she was also in the interview, and she says, oh ma'am, that's no problem, so you take care for the grandmothers and I take care for the employers. And she founded the Employees for Future. And I remember there was a grandmother in one demonstration in Germany, and she had a photo with Omas for Future. And I decided to get a member of this association. And so I looked for them in the internet, and I saw nothing. And so I said, okay, when nobody has started it, so I will do. And that was the first moment when I founded Omas for Future. I bought a web domain, 99 cents. I say, okay, that's not so much money I can do. And the next moment who make this more intense was to be with my grandson in the nature. And he was happy, and we looked for butterflies and for flowers, and it was wonderful. And he looked at me, and in his eyes there was so much trust that I am responsible, that he will have a good future, and that nature and living also will be so nice, like in this moment. And in this moment, I recognized, okay, the future will not be so good, and I'm responsible that the future is not so good, because I'm a part of destroying the nature. And then I said, okay, now I have to do a lot, and I have to tell all the other grandmothers, we don't want it. We live our children and our grandchildren. We don't want to destroy their future. Yes. And that was, so there was Omas for Future.
All right, that's interesting, Cordula. And Dr. Hari, can you please tell us why did you choose to target grandmothers specifically?
The targeting older people means that you have, especially women, you have a different view. It's not the scientist technological view that is in Scientists for Future or others, the impatient view, which is with Fridays for Future. The grandmothers or the Omas, and that's the reason why we also named it Omas, is a different view, a more emotional view to the future, a more holistic view to the future. And that means that women have a more holistic view. As a man, I can do that and can say that. So they see on more than only on the solutions with renewables or the solutions with different ways of economy. So women have a different view in the future, and that's a very powerful view. And we have to organize them. We have to get in touch with them.
That's really interesting. And Cordula, can you please share some specific examples of how your organization, Omas for Future, has successfully motivated older individuals to change their behavior for sustainable future?
So first, it is very necessary to have a good press. So to be in TV and in radio and so on. And then in our more than 80 groups at this moment, the women have different possibilities to be active. Some people make street stands, and other goes to the politics. A lot make a quiz in schools or in other social clubs. A lot of them who are member change their life by learning a lot about self-effectiveness. They don't know it when they start, and then they learn how much they can to reduce the CO2, the Kohlenwasser CO2, yes. Yeah. And by this way, a lot of women shape politics and society in a way they never did before. Yes, so it's the one thing is we feel different to the men, to the male society. But the other point is we are not part of the decisions in politics, in economy and in society. And now they learned I can shape society, and they like it. It's a very big female empowerment. And that they like it, and they have a lot of ideas and are very creative to live this. And by this way, we already have collected 10,000 climate ribbons all over the land, where people write what they want from politics or what they do, how do they change their lives. So and other people can learn by reading the climate ribbons. And it was a very big action we did. We grow every month. Every month are new groups, and yes, it's very good.
Wow, it is, yes. Unbelievable. Thank you, Cordula. And Dr. Hari.
How do you overcome the challenges of resistance and skepticisms that you may encounter when engaging with older individuals on this topic?
But it's not only older. All people in all ages have skepticism. Fake information is all over the world. So that's a fact through all democracies today. So that we have to start. If we want to overcome them, we have to have information. We have to have patience talking with the people. We have to speak in a language they understand, and we have to understand their fears seriously, taking them with their fears and trying to give information and have a positive connotation. Means that you self can do something. You can have impact on your city or on your school where you are teaching or whatever. So positive connotation, giving information, and last but not least, also showing what is possible. Every one of us is possible to do a little bit. And with that, you overcome the fears a lot of people have in very different ages.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you. Wow. That's beautiful, Dr. Hari. And Cordula, please explain a little more about the action competence learning process. And, you can give us like a concrete action in this action, please.
The action competence, Hari, kannst du mir mal gerade helfen?
Yeah, I can answer it. Look, it's if someone enters our group and is new in a city, then this person tries to do something. Mostly this person have no competence until then, because their life was not connected with organization or other things, or with policy, or with all these things. And then they are we try to help them to organize a stand or to register a demonstration or to go to other actions of other environmental groups in the city. And with this help of our older in the Omas for Future group, then we try to enhance their knowledge. And this is a positive feedback, because if they first have organized a stand or have spoken with the press or have spoken with some representatives of the city, then they get more and more courage to do things. That's a slow growing thing. And what is important, we never ask for things they don't want. So every group has the possibility to define what we want to make now in our city. And we don't force anyone to do things which are above their abilities. So that is process creates self-confidence, and at the end it also it reinforces democracy, because people speak. And if you have people in a city or someone that has confidence, then you have a more stable political situation.
Great point, Dr. Harry. Now we're back to Cordula. You know what amazed me?
Omas for Future has expanded its initial group in Leipzig to 75 regional groups throughout Germany, with about 700 active and constructive grandmothers and grandfathers. The question is for you, Cordula. What strategies did you employ to achieve this growth?
The first is that the women are all feel that they act out of love. They act out of love for their children, for the nation, and for our future. This is the first. And the second is they learn by acting out of love for our nation, they do the most for themselves. Act for nature is love to myself, because if nature is destroyed, it is also to my own live, to my own healthy. It's one to one. I can't. It belongs together. And the next point, we inform them and we take them into the future, and they see that that if we don't change our behavior today, we will miss out on the healthiest, best, and most livable future we could ever have. And that the most people don't know. The most people think, oh, now it's fine, and in future, I have to miss this and that, and I don't allow to do. No, it's different. Yes, the future we can have is much more better, much more healthy, much more livable than today. And we make a lot of pictures and we make information about living in the future, so that the people are much motivated to reach this claim. So we change the process. The most people are, it's so bad, and all the things I never can do. No, it's quite other. And this is what the process and the strategy to first start with act of love for children, act of love for you, and motivate for the loveliest future we ever had.
Great point. Thank you so much, Cordula. That's a great point. Now we're back to Dr. Harry. What are the problems or challenges on the ground in building the Omas for Future?
Yeah, okay. First is visibility. You have to be visible in your city. You have to be visible in the political discussion. That is that you can achieve with a web page, that you can achieve with materials which can be given to persons. Also materials that are humorous, because we don't want to be too sturdy. So it means we have materials where you can laugh, where you like. That means it's first one. So you need a certain base load of materials, web page and other things. Then clearly you need also active persons. So we have 700, but if you divide it by 70, then in each city there are only a certain amount of people, and we are old people, so that they don't have that power younger people have. So we try to combine, make things together with other organizations, so that the different views and the different positive strengths can create synergies. Last but not least, if you build up, you also need money, because you have to print things, etc., etc., etc. Organize a web page, having a programmer that is making a game, and all these things. That means back to the ground, we also need monetary support. But at the moment, it's more or less good. But on long term, if you want to have such organization running over decades, and the problem is existing decades, we need then also this again. So that's, in short, what are the problems and challenges creating on the ground the Omas for Future.
Great, really on point. Thank you, Dr. Hari. And Cordula, Omas for Future seems to bridge generations in its approach to climate activism. The question is, how do younger people react to your organization, and what role do they play in your efforts?
So younger people love us, because when we go, we always with our big heart in the street. And one day I was in Berlin, and I went into the traffic, into the U-Bahn, the U-Bahn.
Yeah.
And I come in with my big heart, and there was a group of young people, and they start to sing a song, "We love our grandmothers." And all the people surrounded, oh, what do they do? But it was typical how young people react on us. They say, "Thank you that you take care for our future. I love my grandma, and you are a lot of grandmas, and grandmas are wonderful." So the youth like us. Also in the schools, when we go to school, they are happy to see that older people are active for their future. They like it. And in our own team, we have a generation learning, because the older people are, like me, more than 60 plus, and our team is about 25. They have another language. They have another art to work. They go have another feeling for internet. Then we don't like so much information, and they love much information, and we learn a lot from another. So it's very good to be together with so young people, because if we would work with them together, there would be different worlds. I never knew how young people learn, and how they go, how about their world. I have children, yes, but how they work, I learn now. And it's very, very necessary and good that we work together. And also the young people in my team say, so it's better to make the Omas for Future successful, because if you go to the politics and to the economics, they are in your age. And if you tell them, hey, you can't do it, they listen to you. But if we do it, they say, oh, first go to school and make a lot of experience, and you're so young, you have no experience, I don't listen to you. So the older one gets a speaker for the young people.
Thanks, Cordula. I love your response, really. So we can see how, the perspective of younger generation about Omas for Future. Thank you. And Dr. Hari, how do you envision the Omas for Future network in 5 to 10 years?
We, Cordula and I, hope that about 250 groups are existing all over Germany. And also we have a network in Europe, a growing network in Europe. We have some first groups in Netherlands and in Austria at the moment from the Omas. And we have to work together with other environmental groups and other also economical groups, because it's not enough to changing the environmental problem also is changing our economy in the future. And that's where we are working together. And we try to create a new awareness about how we can solve the problem with our steps today. It is known that everyone, average European, has the possibility to lower its greenhouse gas by 30%, more or less, by its own activities. The other 70% are policy, the other 70% are laws, the other 70% are technology. So we try to focus on that with all 250 and more groups in 5 to 10 years. And we have to continue, because transformation is nothing which ends in 2030. We are talking about greenhouse gas neutrality in 2045. That means that Omas for Future have to exist until 2045.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hari. Last but not the least, this question will be for Cordula and Dr. Hari. What advice do you have for those out there who want to make a difference? Please, Cordula.
So the first advice, think positive, speak positive, act positive. A lot of people say, oh, it must go better, but they speak negative and they tell us all the things what are not okay. So I don't have energy to change something. We have to make a vision of our future, and we have to act for this future. And when you be positive, you will motivate other people. It's necessary to act and not only to speak. We had a lot of people who speak and talk. We need people to act for the future. And this is what Omas for Future is doing.
Amazing. Thank you, Cordula. How about you, Dr. Hari?
It's okay. Acting now, we are urgent. We need urgent action today. We need to be patient, because there are a lot of things which not happen one day. So it's patience and activism that we need. Yeah.
Amazing. This is such a pleasure. Thank you so much, Cordula, Weimann, and Dr. Hari, for sharing your inspiring story about Omas for Future.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And also thank you, UNESCO Green Citizens Initiative, for this talk show collaboration. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. Let's collaborate to make this world a better place. I'm Glo from JDPNS. Thank you and see you again.
Bye.
Bye-bye.